Hi guys, in this build series I'm going to be building the Revell Star Wars 1/110th scale Star Wars Tie Fighter, and very nice box art. This is obviously re-released box art since the release of the new film. So we've got a scary looking Kylo Ren up in the top there, scary looking because he's got his helmet on, not so scary looking with it off, but there you go, that's an argument for the fanboys on the sites. On the back we've got a nice picture of the completed kit with some close-up detail and a picture of the sprues, and it tells you it's a level 3 kit and shows a picture of the sort of items you might need to assemble it. And it says on here, the twin ion fighter used by the Imperial troops is one of the most frequently deployed starfighters. Features finely engraved surfaces, moving cockpit hatch, replica cockpit, pilot figure and display stand. And also gives you a paint colour call out at the bottom there. I won't be following that because I'm going to be painting this up in the style of the newer TIE fighters in the new film. Black with the white solar panels. So we're going to open the box and take a look at the contents. Inside the TIE Fighter box we've got a large sort of A4 size fold out instructions. Very nice and colourful, clearly because these kits are aimed at the younger end, so they're designed to appeal to them, but nice and colourful with details showing you relevant procedures and a sprue call-out, a little decal sheet which has window frame decal, which is quite a nice touch, because obviously that's the fiddliest part to paint, I guess. One thing I do like about this is the sprue call-out, and I like kits that have this because you can see at a glance what you should have in the box and you can see if anything's missing. I hate it when kits don't have this. Some kits regularly do, some don't, but I do like it when the sprue call-out is there because it's quick and easy to check that everything's there. And then you've got 2 pages of straightforward panel by panel instructions showing paint call-outs and placement for attaching and gluing and snapping together and so on. And then the back page just shows you a general colour call-out and plan view. So everything you need is on these 2 pages right here. And then what we have in here, I'm going to zoom in at this point so we can take a closer look at the sprues. First of all, we have the clear parts. So we've got the main windscreen, nicely moulded, very good raised detail, which will lend itself very well to being masked and painted rather than using the decal. I imagine using the decal on that would actually be trickier than painting it, personally speaking. And the frame lines are really nicely raised, so that will be very, very easy to mask, allowing that to be painted. And then this here, which goes in the hinged top section under the cover, I believe. We then have a stand base which forms the display base, and the second part of that is on here, and the TIE Fighter obviously sits on there. I won't be using that for this particular one because I've got something else in mind. On this sprue we have the cockpit parts down here, loads and loads of really nice finely printed detail that will take a wash very well, and the underside not so detailed, but that's going to be hidden inside the ball of the main body of the TIE Fighter. Over here above the stand we've got the pilot's chair, the flight yoke I think, and the flight console, and then up at the top we've got the pilot. Now I have my doubts because the pilot in the TIE Interceptor, which is supposed to be 1/90th, and the pilot in this, which is supposed to be 1/110th, are they sort of opposite ways to which they should be. This pilot is considerably larger than the one in the Interceptor, and I think they've got the scales the wrong way round. I think this is actually 1/90th and the Interceptor is 1/110th because that model is quite a bit smaller. Why they did them in different scales, I really don't know. I've also got a Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, which is also a completely different scale, 1/125th, I think, or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head and I can't see it from here, but it's also a different scale. So why they did that, I don't know. But nicely moulded pilot figure, but certainly not 1/110th scale. That should be closer to 1/144th, which I have seen, and it's bigger than that, but not quite as big as 1/72nd sort of Airfix pilot size. So I think the scale on this is the wrong way around. I think this kit is 1/90th and the Interceptor is 1/110th personally. So we've got the rear portion there, the top lid, and then these detail parts which go on the outer parts of the wing. Again, lots and lots of nicely moulded, lovely detail, which will take a wash very, very well. Then we have the two halves of the TIE Fighter body. This obviously being the top, which is where the lid goes, where the pilot climbs in and out, and the lower section here. And again, lots and lots of nice raised detail, probably sort of ridiculously overscale in real terms, but it will aid in taking a wash very, very well and look very good as a result of that. Again, detail minimal on the other side, but then when the cockpit's set inside, you're really not going to notice that anyway. So, and the final sprue is the wings. Now this is the inner portion which go onto the arms of the TIE Fighter, and you've got some nice detail there again which will take a wash detail very well. You've got a lovely detail on the solar panels, so again they will take a nice sort of wash or dry brushing detail well. And then it's very, very thick plastic and nicely detailed ribs. It's got some thick sprue injection port, styrene injection port parts, which I'm going to have to remove with a razor saw rather than a knife, because that's got a high potential to actually pull a lot of plastic away and damage the wing if it's not removed carefully. On the other side, very, very plain detail, but then that's why you've got the wing caps that I showed you on the other sprue that go onto there. So that's what's in the box. So the next process is to give this all a clean and get that dried and ready for primer. There shouldn't be much prep work beyond removing it from the sprues and cleaning up the edges. There's not really any bad seam lines or ejector pin marks or flash or anything. So we're going to get on now and get that cleaned up, ready for primer.